Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Sune, and I hope you're well. And if you're not, I hope you're well soon. So today, I have been having this thought over and over again, kind of appearing in my head. And I wanted to talk about it because I keep talking about it in my own head, and I'm like, I might as well share it on my YouTube channel too. So, this thought that, I mean, it's an obvious thought, right? But like, when I just like thinking about these things and talking about them. So essentially, I was thinking about celebrities, right? And like how everything that they have is reliant on other people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the money they have, the status they have, the fame, all of it is reliant on other people viewing them in a specific way. Do you know what I mean? I found that fascinating though, because in general, everything that exists right now is a product or a byproduct of what people are doing between, like, with each other, in different systems. Like everything that's set up right now, like how humanity is set up, it was a collective effort, so let's say that wait, this makes sense, right? Like, let's say that some sort of industry, like let's say the medical industry, right, just suddenly collapses. That's going to affect a lot of people, right? Because it's put in place by people for people in a very specific way. And so it just, I don't know, I just was like, whoa, I mean, obviously we're interconnected, but like on that level, we're very interconnected. And anything that happens in one sphere of humanity does ripple into other parts of humanity in some form, in some way. Like every perception that we have about each other and ourselves influences how we live. What choices we make. I don't know. It's just very interesting to me. It's just very interesting. So I was like, wow, so literally like celebrities' careers, musicians' careers, anyone's career essentially is pretty much dependent on other people existing and interacting with what you are offering as a service through your career. Like, as I was saying, doctors, like if there were no people to treat, doctors would not be necessary. If there if there were no Here's an example, if there were no kids going to school, there'd be no need for a bus driver. You know what I mean? If there were no humans, like there'd be no need for scientists, because there'd be no people here examining or researching anything. It would just be nature. And I'm just like, this is really weird to think about, but it's actually really cool too. And from that perspective of like knowing how interconnected we are in that way, that we do rely on each other, I think that can also bring like gratitude and compassion, and a sense of like, I don't know, just a sense of, how do I even put this? Camaraderie? Like, I don't know, something like that. But you just kind of feel a sense of like a bond with other people because you're all part of the same system of humanity, of existing here. And so someone else is experiencing what it's like to be a human, and so are you. And you can relate in that you're both experiencing being a human, even if your experiences as a human do differ. You are on the same planet, and you may not really know why you're here exactly, but a lot of us do have some similar lessons that we're learning. I think that's why you can find patterns in the things that we reflect on and talk about, and try to help each other with, you know? Like, let's say like shame, right? Like the emotion of shame, like the feeling of shame. There's a reason that people talk about it so much, is because it's a common human experience. It's an integral part of the human experience, and so we all talk about it. We all put our focus on it. But if shame didn't exist, we'd have no reason to talk about it in the way that we do. But because we all collectively agree that shame does exist and we all experience it, we can connect like via that experience. It brings us close together. And I think that's really beautiful. You know? So when I'm sitting here and I'm feeling shame, for example, I'm not alone in that feeling because I'm not the only human that exists. There's someone else out there who also is feeling shame. And in that way, we could relate. In that way, we are connected. The same as if I am feeling happy and someone else is feeling that same type of happiness. I mean, I may not even know who the heck they are because this planet is so big and I don't see every single person in front of my face all the time. But it still exists, it's still happening. You know, like there's shared states of being that we all kind of experience. Of course, we all have our own unique, like, actual life experiences. Our bodies are extremely unique. There will never be the same body ever that you have right now. Not possible. It's extremely unique. In all its form, all its being, and in addition to your spirit being with your body. Kind of being in the, kind of hanging out in your body, being like, what are we going to experience and learn today, you know? So, I just think it's really cool. I really do. The way that we experience life is just so nuanced. And everybody's unique body experience focus is what makes them them in this avatar, if you will, that they have chosen, that their soul chose, if you want to look at it from a spiritual perspective. And it's interesting too because with the way that humanity functions, it's almost like our soul knows exactly what type of avatar that we would want or need for the specific lessons that we want to learn. How our avatar is going to look, how it's going to act, what's going to be around the avatar. It's essentially almost like a video game, right? Like it's like your soul is the video game developer and you are the avatar that it's created. I don't know, that's a concept, but that's how it feels sometimes. Because there are times where, like, if I'm not in my body and I'm kind of like checking out and I'm not really thinking about even existing, like I'm like, maybe not the healthiest thing to do. You know, people who doom scroll and they're just constantly like filling up on content and they're not really focused on like being in their own body and experiencing their own life. So people when they're in that state of like just zoning out, like not even like, I'm not in my body. When people do that, I mean, I've experienced that. I notice like I forget that I even exist for just a little bit of time. And sometimes I feel like that's necessary. I feel like we all need a break sometimes from being in our own life, but it's a little disorienting for me too when I come back to my body and I'm like, whoa, I'm in a body, what? Because it's like I like temporarily forgot that I was in a body, you know? It's just very strange. I think about that too, and I'm like what is that all about? I don't know. It's just kind of, it's interesting. I don't know what I'm even saying anymore. But I wanted to make a video today, and this is the stuff that was on my mind, so I just wanted to share it. But I think I'm gonna go now. I think I've rambled on for long enough. So I hope you guys are well. And if you're not, I hope you're well soon, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.